Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you worked, no matter how pure your intentions were, someone still found a way to twist it? A rumor, a whisper, a quiet sabotage where you expected loyalty. It shakes you, not because you're weak, but because you cared, because you believed, because you were building something bigger than yourself. Every true leader faces this storm, the betrayals, the doubters, the long, sleepless nights where it feels like the world has turned its back. And yet, the ones who endure, the ones who build anyway, they all share one secret. They mastered themselves before they tried to master the world. Even those who now seem untouchable, even those who once slept on factory floors, fighting toxic attacks from every side while holding a dream the world said would fail. In today's video, we'll uncover the mindset that leaders like Elon Musk use to survive betrayal, to withstand sabotage, and to build, not by fighting toxic people, but by becoming so unshakable, so focused, that nothing outside them could touch what they were building inside. If you've ever been betrayed, if you've ever felt the pull to react, to defend, to lash out, stay with me. Because today, we're not just talking about dealing with toxic people. We're talking about becoming someone they can't even reach. Before we dive deep, drop a comment below. Have you ever had a moment where staying calm changed everything? Your story might just be the spark someone else needs. Now, let's begin. You might think toxic people only steal your happiness, that they only ruin a good day, make you doubt yourself for a while, and then life goes on. But the damage runs deeper, far deeper. Toxic people don't just drain your emotions, they sabotage your clarity, they poison your judgment. And if you're not careful, they'll make you question the very instincts that once made you powerful. You see, when you allow toxic energy to live rent-free in your mind, you're not just wasting emotional energy, you're making decisions from anger, from fear, from pain, and decisions made in emotional chaos. They rarely serve your highest good. They derail your focus. They blind you to opportunities. They trap you in battles you were never meant to fight. Think about it. How many brilliant careers were derailed not because of a lack of talent, but because someone reacted to provocation, because someone let betrayal turn them bitter, because someone let toxic whispers shape their next move? You don't lose when people lie about you. You lose when you believe the lie. You don't lose when someone betrays you. You lose when you let that betrayal define your future. And make no mistake, in business, in leadership, in life, clarity is everything. Lose your clarity, you lose your edge. You lose your ability to see the battlefield for what it truly is. That's why mastering yourself isn't a luxury. It's not nice to have. It's survival. When you master yourself, toxic people lose their only real weapon, your reaction. Without your anger, without your fear, without your emotional energy to feed on, they starve, they wither, they vanish. And you move forward, unshaken, unbroken, unstoppable. Today, we're not just talking about handling toxic people. We're talking about mastering the battlefield inside your mind so that no outside enemy can ever defeat you again. And to show you exactly how, there's no better example than a man who turned the noise of the world into pure, silent fuel, Elon Musk. Let's dive in. Imagine this. You stand at the center of a collapsing empire. Every number is bleeding red. Every news outlet sharpening their knives with your name. Every investor second-guessing the faith they once had in you. Every hallway you walk through, colder, quieter, as people you once trusted look away, whisper behind your back, plan their exit. You pour your life into a dream, only to watch it twist and crumble in your hands. That was Elon Musk in 2017. Tesla wasn't just struggling, it was drowning. Model 3 production lines stalled like broken promises. Deadlines weren't slipping, they were collapsing. Suppliers abandoned ship. Analysts laughed on live TV. Journalists crafted your obituary before you even hit the ground. Every sign pointed to one inevitable conclusion: failure, public, spectacular, final. And yet, Musk didn't run. He didn't rage. He didn't beg the world to see his side of the story. Instead, he packed a sleeping bag, moved into the cold, fluorescent-lit factory floor, and went to war, not with his critics, but with the problems at hand. He worked 20 hours a day. He troubleshooted broken robots by hand. He ate the same food as the line workers. He bled, sweated, and rebuilt from the ground up, one bolt, one algorithm, one sleepless night at a time. He didn't make speeches. He didn't seek sympathy. He didn't waste a breath trying to argue with those who already made up their minds. He understood something that most never grasp. You do not owe the world an explanation. You owe your mission a victory. While the world screamed for attention, he built silently. While toxic narratives raged like wildfire, he stayed calm, methodical, cold as steel. Because Musk knew, you don't defeat toxic forces by fighting them on their terms. You defeat them by becoming so relentless, so resilient, that no attack can pierce your resolve. Today, Tesla is not merely a brand. It's a monument, carved from betrayal, exhaustion, sleepless nights, and the unyielding stoic will of a man who refused to lose himself, even when it seemed he might lose everything else. Understand this: leadership isn't proven in comfort. It's forged in chaos, and there is no clearer path to power than mastering yourself when everything around you begs for your collapse. The lesson is simple, but brutal. If you can hold your mind steady while the world shakes around you, you win. And that kind of strength doesn't happen by accident. It is built by mastering two ancient principles that every great leader, every unstoppable force has lived by. Let's break them down. Principle 1: emotional detachment before decision. Before you can master any battle in the world, you must first master the battle raging inside your own mind. And the first rule of real war is this: emotion is the enemy of judgment. Emotion blinds strategy. Emotion leads even the strongest into traps they should have seen coming. Marcus Aurelius knew it well. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. He didn't write those words as poetry. He wrote them as survival instructions, because even an emperor with legions at his command understood it's not the army outside the gates that defeats a man. It's the army inside his own mind: panic, rage, despair. You think toxic people want your job, your reputation, your position? Number. They want your reaction. Because the moment you react from anger, from wounded pride, from fear, you give them the only thing they ever needed: control over you. That's how battles are lost, not by the strength of the enemy, but by the weakness of the heart. Most people don't even realize when it happens. One comment, one betrayal, one whisper behind closed doors. And suddenly, they're making decisions fueled by bitterness, not clarity, by ego, not vision. And once you lose clarity, you are no longer leading your life. You're being led by every toxic hand that knows where your buttons are. Understand this: if they can make you angry, they can control you. If they can make you doubt yourself, they can defeat you without lifting a finger. That's why the first and fiercest discipline you must master is this: emotional detachment. Not apathy, not coldness, but calm. Clear-headed calm in the very center of the storm. Detachment means you feel the sting, but you choose your response. You hear the insult, but you act with intention, not impulse. You face the betrayal, but you move forward by strategy, not retaliation. It is not about ignoring the chaos, it's about standing taller than it. About becoming the eye of the hurricane, calm, controlled, untouchable, while the world spins madly around you. This level of mastery does not come easily. It is forged, hammered out by fire, refined through pain. It's built every time you pause instead of snap, every time you breathe instead of lash out, every time you remember your mind is your fortress. No one gets inside without your permission. And once you reach that place, once you become a master of your own emotions, toxic people find themselves powerless against you. Their words bounce off stone walls. Their manipulations shatter against your calm. They rage harder. They scream louder. They throw tantrums like drowning men grabbing at air. But you walk forward, unaffected, unbreakable, because the battle was never out there. It was always within. Master yourself, and no enemy can ever defeat you again. But emotional control is only the first step. The next, it's even deadlier. Controlling your focus. Let's dive deeper. Principle 2. Focus only on what you can control. If mastering your emotions makes you untouchable, then mastering your focus makes you unstoppable. And yet, this is where most people fail. They waste years fighting battles they were never supposed to fight. Arguing with toxic people, trying to fix broken souls, seeking justice in places where justice never lived. They bleed energy chasing ghosts. They drown trying to swim against currents they were never meant to control. Understand this, there are only two forces in your life. What you can control and what you can't. Everything else, every betrayal, every lie, every whisper behind your back is just noise. And every second you spend focusing on that noise is a second you steal from your future, a second you hand over to people who never deserved a place in your mind. Epictetus said it centuries ago, some things are up to us and some things are not. Simple, brutal, true, yet few people live it. Because it requires a kind of ruthless clarity most are too soft to embrace. It means accepting that most of what happens in life, the betrayals, the criticisms, the rumors, are outside your command. It means stopping the endless, useless war to control how people see you, how they treat you, how they spin their lies. It means this: you don't control the attack, you control the shield. You don't control the chaos, you control the fortress inside. You don't control the storm, you become the mountain it breaks against. And once you make that shift, once you tear your eyes away from everything you can't control, you reclaim the single greatest power in this life, the power of ruthless focus. The power to pour your energy not into arguments, not into explanations, not into fixing broken mirrors, but into building, into creating, into becoming. Toxic people want your attention. They feed on your outrage. They fuel their existence with the energy you waste reacting to them. Starve them. Starve them with silence. Starve them with focus. Starve them by living so fiercely for your mission that they become irrelevant. Tiny specks in the rearview mirror of a life too powerful for them to touch. Imagine that kind of life, where no insult reaches you, where no rumor detours you, where no betrayal slows you down, not because you are indifferent, but because you are too focused, too locked in, too far beyond their reach. Focus on what you can control, your discipline, your process, your purpose. Everything else, let it burn behind you. Because in the end, only two things matter: the mission you choose and the mind you bring to it. Control those, and nothing outside you can ever defeat you again. Let's take it even further. Let's build a strategy, a framework to turn this philosophy into unstoppable action, because knowing is nothing unless you act. How to build an untouchable mindset. Most advice tells you to walk away from toxic people. I'll show you how to make them irrelevant. Let's get practical. All the philosophy in the world means nothing unless it turns into action. You've heard the theory. You've seen how masters like Elon Musk apply it under fire. But now, it's your turn. This is your war room. This is your blueprint. Here's how you build an untouchable mindset. A fortress so solid, toxic people bounce off it like whispers on stone. It begins with step 1. 1. The 5-second pause. Break the emotional circuit. Every time someone says something that triggers you, every time betrayal, insult, manipulation hits you like a wave, you have 5 seconds. 5 seconds before your brain defaults to reaction. 5 seconds before you snap, defend, justify, rage. This is the gap. This is where the battle is won. You pause. You don't say anything. You don't act. You don't type. You don't clench your jaw. You just breathe, slow, controlled, deliberate. Because in those 5 seconds, you're not just calming down, you're cutting the circuit. You're reprogramming a lifetime of being emotionally hijacked. This is where the average man becomes a leader. This is where puppets cut their strings. 2. The 3 Stoic Questions. Reclaim your power. Right after the pause, you go to war with your own mind. You ask, is this within my control? What is the worst outcome, and can I endure it? What action aligns with the person I want to become? These 3 questions are your blade. They slice through confusion, through ego, through emotional fog. Because here's the truth. Most people act from pride, from insecurity, from fear of looking weak. But real power isn't loud. Real power is the man who can be insulted, attacked, undermined, and still choose his response like a surgeon choosing a scalpel. 3rd, energy discipline. Guard the gates. Think of your energy like water in the desert. Every reaction, every thought, every emotional spiral is a sip taken from your survival supply. And toxic people? They don't come to drink. They come to drain. They'll bait you into arguments. They'll lure you into endless, clarifying conversations. They'll provoke, guilt, confuse, because the moment you engage, you hand them your peace. So here's the rule. If it costs you your clarity, it's too expensive. Practice saying less. Responding later. Sometimes, not at all. This isn't coldness. It's control. It's choosing to spend your energy where it multiplies, not where it evaporates. 4. The fortress ritual. Daily mental conditioning. A warrior doesn't sharpen his sword only when the enemy shows up. He sharpens it every morning before the sun rises. Your mindset must be trained the same way. Every morning, you build your fortress before the world comes knocking. Here's how. 2 minutes of silent breathing. Just listen to the chaos in your mind and separate yourself from it. 5 minutes of journaling. What can I control today? What will I protect? What doesn't deserve my energy? 1 mental rehearsal. Visualize a toxic moment coming. Then see yourself responding with calm, silence, precision. You do this every day, not because you're weak, but because you're wise enough to train before the fight begins. 5. Identity shift. Stop acting. Start becoming. The biggest shift is not what you do, it's what you decide to be. You must no longer see yourself as someone trying to handle toxic people. That mindset keeps you reactive. keeps you chasing techniques, keeps you dancing around the fire, hoping not to get burned. Instead, you become the fire. You become the unshakable one. You become the man who doesn't just survive chaos, he silences it. This is identity. From now on, every action must answer one question. Does this align with the man I've decided to become? If the answer is no, you don't say it. You don't type it. You don't even think it twice. Because that version of you, the one who gets pulled into petty battles, who seeks approval from broken people, who lets chaos live rent-free in his head, he's gone. You've buried him. You've leveled up. And this new version of you, he only answers to one voice, his own. At the end of the day, leadership isn't about titles. It's not about loud speeches or grand gestures. It's about how you carry yourself, especially when no one's watching. It's about the moments when someone tests your patience and you stay calm. The moments when the easy thing is to react and you choose to respond with strength. That's where real leadership begins, not in controlling others, but in mastering yourself. And the truth is, the way you deal with toxic people says more about your future than any speech, any plan, any dream you might have. Because if you can't protect your own mind, how will you ever lead others to clarity? If you can't master your own reactions, how will you guide others through storms? That's why today matters. You're building something no one else can see, a discipline that will outlast the noise, a strength that toxic people can't touch, a leadership others will feel, even when you say nothing at all. So here's your next move. Pick one area of your life. Maybe it's how you react to criticism. Maybe it's how you set boundaries with draining people. Maybe it's how you talk to yourself when things go wrong, and make a decision today, a decision to lead there first. Quietly, powerfully. Because leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about setting a standard and living it even when it's hard. If this message spoke to you, if it reminded you of the leader you're becoming, drop a comment below. Tell us, what's one habit you'll lead yourself through starting today? And if you want more tools to build that mindset, to grow stronger, sharper, calmer under pressure, hit subscribe and keep walking this path with us. Because leadership starts here, and it starts now.